Good evening. Welcome to the November 23rd, Monday, Design Review Commission regular meeting. It is now 6:34. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. If I may ask Vice Chair Ramos to lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ms. Ramos.
Great. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Vice Chair Ramos. Appreciate that. May I have the clerk to please call the roll?
Roll call. Chair Chang,
Here.
Vice Chair Romo,
Here.
Commissioner Nadolny,
Here.
Commissioner Selu,
Here.
Commissioner Tu.
Here.
Thank you. So we do have a full quorum tonight, and tonight's meeting is a live stream on cable channel 3 and also our online platforms. Please email all public comments to drc-publickomment@sgch.org. That is drc-public comment at St. Gabriel City Hall, abbreviated.org. No later than the time the item is considered by the Design Review Commissions tonight. Comments received after item have been considered will not be read into the record. Comments will be read by Administrative Assistant Erica Ortiz for up to 3 minutes each. To prevent any overlapping in comments, each commissioner will be called upon to speak. The public comment section. This is the time set aside for members of the public to address the Design Review Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Design Review Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action until such time as the matter may appear on an agenda on a future date. Administrative Assistant Ortiz, are there any public comments that you have received?
No, Chairman Chang, no public comment for this section.
Thank you very much. Item number 2, we have consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine, and recommendations will be approved in one motion, unless a member of the Design Review Commission or public requests separate discussion. Does any of the Design Review Commissioners or members, if they have anything they'd like to pull from the item for separate discussion? Hearing none, I would ask the Administrative Assistant, Erica Ortiz, have we received any requests from the public to pull any items?
We did not, Chairman Chang.
Okay. So the consent agenda item tonight will be the minutes from the October 26, 2020 Design Review Commissioner meeting. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes.
This is Vice Chair Romo. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Ramos. I'd like to have a second from any of the commissioner.
This is Commissioner Salo, I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Salo. Roll call, please.
Roll call vote. Commissioner Tu,
Yes.
Commissioner Salo,
Yes.
Commissioner Nadolny,
Yes.
Vice Chair Romo,
Yes.
Chair Chang.
Yes,
Motion passed. Vote is 5-0.
thank you very much. So we have the approval. We'll move on to item number 3, public hearing. I would like to ask city staff to read the content and for the general information to the public.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Chang. Good evening, and thank you for participating and tuning into tonight's Design Review Commission meeting. This is Samantha Tiwasart, Planning Manager with the Community Development Department. There are 3 public hearing items tonight. Copies of the agenda and the staff report for tonight's hearing are available on the city's website at www.sangabrielcity.com. If you wish to comment on any of these items and are not the applicant, please email the public comments to drc-publiccomment@sgch.org. No later than the time the item is considered by the Design Review Commission tonight. Comments received after items have been considered will not be read into the record. Any decision made by the Design Review Commission tonight is appealable to the City Council. The deadline for filing an appeal application concerning a decision made tonight is Wednesday, December 9th. Otherwise, any decision made tonight will be effective on Thursday, December 10th. If you wish to appeal an application, please contact the project planner for the applicable application and fees. For each item tonight, staff will provide a summary of the staff report, followed by comments from the applicant. Then the public hearing will be opened, and the recording secretary will begin reading aloud the public comments that have been received during the public hearing. Each comment will be read for up to 3 minutes. After the public comments are read, the applicant is provided the opportunity to rebut if they choose. Prior to the close of the public hearing, the commission may ask questions of the applicant, staff, or the city architect. However, once the public hearing is closed, the opportunity for public comment has ended. Chairman, at this time, staff is ready to present agenda item A. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we move on to item number A, 713 Pearl Street, planning case number SPR 18-035, site plan review. Staff report, please.
Good evening, commissioners. The first item before you tonight is for a site plan review to propose a new 2-story house and attached 2-car garage at 713 Pearl Street, planning case number SPR 18-035. Slide number 2, please. The proposed project site is located on the on the north side of Pearl Street between South California Street to the west and San Gabriel Boulevard to the east. The property is currently developed with a 486 square foot single family residence and a detached accessory structure. The property is surrounded by other single family residences to the north, east, and west, and multifamily dwelling units to the south, across the street of Pearl Street. Slide number 3, please. The proposed project site is zoned R1 for single family residence and has a general land use designation of low density residential. Slide number 4, please. The next 2 slides are going to talk about the prior DRC consideration. On May 18th, 2020, the DRC originally considered the proposed project. However, due to some concerns that were brought up by the DRC, it was voted to be continued to the July 27th, 2020 meeting. However, the owner decided to bring on a new designer for the project, and before that July 27th meeting, actually requested that it be postponed to allow for more time for staff the new designer and the city architect to work through the comments that they received. And tonight is a reflection of the comments that were brought up by the DRC and the changes that were made. And slide number 5, please. This slide shows some of the comments that were received at the May 28th DRC meeting. Oh, I'm sorry, May 18th DRC meeting. Some of those were to reduce the overall height of the building, fix some inconsistencies with the calculations for the lot coverage and the floor area ratio. Having a rendering that is more detailed, more consistent with the other plans, and something that looked more realistic. Inconsistencies with the prior window and door schedule, reducing some of the sizes of the windows, such as the windows that were in the garage previously, and continue to work on the landscaping to address some of the prior privacy concerns that were brought up. Slide number 6, please. The proposed project is for a new 2,776 square foot, 2-story single-family residence, approximately 1,413 square feet on the first floor and 1,363 square feet on the second floor. Project also has an attached 2-car garage to the rear. This project also consists of a ADU, detached ADU structure to the rear of the property. However, according to Government Code 65282.2, the ADU must be considered ministerially without discretionary review or hearing. So therefore, it's not part of the decision tonight. Slide number 7, please. The proposed architectural style is a Spanish colonial. The proposed project provides many elements that are evident of this, such as recessed windows, deep front porch entry with a arched element, an arched opening, exposed roof rafters, a color combination that is very evident of this style. The project also implements a landscape design that proposes to maintain some of the existing landscaping, such as the large tree in the back, and also introduce new landscaping, such as the 2 24-inch box trees that are located in the front yard now. Overall, the composition of the architectural elements and the materials that were selected by the applicant successfully implements the city's design guidelines. Slide number 8, please. The proposed project meets the San Gabriel Municipal Code requirements of setbacks, parking, building height, lot coverage, floor area ratio. It provides setbacks that are within the requirements of the San Gabriel Municipal Code, lot coverage and FAR that are below the maximum allowances, and proposes a building height that is almost 3 feet lower than what the maximum height allows. Slide number 9, please. In the San Gabriel Municipal Code, it requires a comparison of 1 to 2-story homes within a 300-foot radius of the project site. Currently, there are 10 homes with a 2-story residence within the 300-foot radius. Those are outlined in red. And photo surveys have been provided in your packets tonight. And I believe they are also on slide number 10 and slide number 11. Slide number 10, please. Show some of the 2-story houses. And slide number 11 is going to show the other 2-story houses. Slide number 12, please. The land use designation is low density residential, which would allow for the proposed project. The project also meets the following goal of the 2004 general plan, which is community design goal 10.3, to create designs that live and breathe with San Gabriel's neighborhoods as they themselves live and breathe. Slide number 13, please. This project is exempt from the requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, for per guideline 15303, class 3, for new construction or conversion of small structures. Slide 14, please. So since this project was continued from the last meeting to a date uncertain, we did have to notice it again. And that was done in the following ways. We sent out notices again to the property owners within the 300-foot radius. Notice was posted at the project site. Notice was posted in the San Gabriel Sun newspaper, as well as having the agenda posted at different locations like City Hall, the post office, San Gabriel Library, and on the city's website. Slide number 15, please. And it's with that staff recommends that the Design Review Commission adopt a resolution of the Design Review Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number SPR 18-035 for a site plan review at 713 Pearl Street to allow the construction of a new 2-story single-family residence and attached garage, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. And this will conclude staff's presentation. Staff is ready for any questions if the commission has any. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To the commissioners, does anybody has question for staff regarding this particular application? Seeing none, I will move on to the public portion of the meeting. I'd like to ask if the applicant or the representative of the applicant is here to address the commission, or you want to add anything to this presentation. Please identify your name, address for the record.
Hi, sorry, this is Assistant Planner Anthony Alvarado. For the owner of 713 Pearl Street, I know you're on the line. If you could please mute the YouTube broadcast because it is causing an echo when you're trying to speak. So if you could please just mute it when you are speaking right now. Thank you.
To the applicant, we're not hearing anything. So if you can just call in, I would say just stay on the phone for now and take away your second device. Sorry, no, we're not hearing your conversation.
Okay.
I think we can.
So this is Assistant Planner Alvarado again. I know we had the designer for this project, Mr. Steve Sun. He was online. I'm not sure if he's still online, but Steve, if you are still online, can you please unmute yourself and if you would like to address the commission on this project? Steve, if you are still online, please unmute yourself and if you would like to address
No, it's not working. We have too many devices on. If you just call in, and I think we can hear you, but if you have your call in and then you have your other video device on the same time, then they feed back to each other. We cannot hear you at all. Is caller number 10 the designer?
Hi, Chairman Chang, it's John Fu. Let's take a brief pause real quick, and then let's see if we can resolve this technical issue.
All right, so Thank you, staff. Mr. Sun, can you please go ahead and finish your presentation? I think everybody's muted. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. We just proposed a new two-story single-family residence. Architectural style is a Spanish, and we have a detached ADU in the backyard, and architectural style will keep the same, Spanish colonial. And let me see. Yeah, and we will propose a new landscape design. Yeah, so if you guys have any question, you can ask me, I can answer.
I forgot to unmute myself. Thank you, and I'd like to go to the commissioners if they have any additional questions for Mr. Sun, the designer.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you.
So it looks like there is no question. I'll go down the list real quick then. Commissioner Tu, any question?
Yes, this is Commissioner Tu speaking. I do have a question. I heard that this is a new designer get involved after the last meeting, and I was wondering what exactly has been changed to the new design. When I compare these two sets of drawing, I don't see like a major change, except for the photo floor height. The building height get reduced for a little bit. So can the designer be more articulate about what kind of change has been made to the new design?
Oh yeah, basically we just changed the layout. Minor is not a significant change, just interior. For the exterior, we changed some of the materials, colors. Just want to enhance the design. Yeah, and we just changed the revised the plan per the city architect's comments. Yeah, we just try to make it better. Yeah.
So I was wrong. Actually, the building, is the building get higher or lower?
Oh, the building is getting a little lower than before.
Okay, so pretty much for the exterior of the building, only the roof, the tile color get changed, right? There's nothing else has been changed for this set of design.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
How did you lower the building? My question was, do you still have 10-foot play height on the first floor and 9-foot on the second floor? I did not keep the old plan. What was that before? Do you recall? What was the ceiling height before? The play height?
I don't remember the previous play height, but overall, like the height will be a little lower, not that much.
Okay. Maybe I can ask the city architect. I'm sorry. Before I go to Dale Brown, let me go ahead and go to our old commissioner first. So Commissioner Nadoni, maybe I can ask.
Yeah, you were asking, I have in my notes, I don't have the old plans in front of me or the old elevations, but I do have in my notes that the floor to floor was 11 feet. So there was no change in the floor to floor.
it was 11 feet, like 10-foot pipe plus the 1 foot structure. So no
Yeah.
change in the floor. Because I think
No
if they
change.
could not have reduced it, yeah. Because I mean, this is already, it's still pretty much the maximum that anybody would have for a home of this size, with 10-foot play height for the first floor, 9 foot for the second floor. I think we're still pushing it to the max right now. So thank you for the information.
Yeah, and I'll save if you want to call on me later. I have some
Okay.
comments.
Okay, so, okay, let's move on to Commissioner Salo. Any question that you may have?
Yeah. First question is, on the street elevation, the building looks a bit plain, and there was a decision made to put the closet of the master bedroom on the wall that's facing the street, reducing the opportunity, I guess, to put a window there. But I wonder if, you've got the master bedroom and a closet, and I think, that window at the second floor, it just kind of looks odd there by itself. And I wonder if there isn't an opportunity to add a second window and maybe, balance the design out a little bit. I understand it's not ideal to put a window in the closet, but right now I think the street elevation looks a bit plain, and I think it's because of that blank wall where the closet is. And my second comment is, Steve, could you clarify a little bit about that little second kitchen behind the kitchen next to the garage?
Yeah, we're gonna have a like a walk kitchen. It's enclosed because the Chinese culture, we just cook. There's a lot of smoke, and so that's why we just put a walk kitchen over there. Just the cooking culture.
But both kitchens are intended to serve the main house, right? Like that second kitchen's not intended to like serve the garage or something else?
No. Just serve the single family house. Yeah, both kitchens.
So is there like a stove in both kitchens?
Yeah.
Or so both have like a fridge, sink, and a stove. It's not just like an area where they can do their stir fry or whatever. I mean, they're both independent kitchens, like fully equipped kitchens, both of them, right? That's what it looks like. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, because we do a lot of fries in the walk kitchen. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's my only question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to Commissioner Nadoni. Any questions, please?
Yeah, and actually it's a comment pretty much. I don't, like I said, I don't have the old previous plans in front of me, but it seems to me that these new plans are even less detailed and do not respond to some of the concerns that the commission had on May 18th. There was questions that came up, and I can't remember if we answered this. Maybe this is a staff question. The 23-foot backup space, I think at one point it was more than that. Now it's less of the main garage. Is that a concern?
So thank you for the question, Commissioner Nadoli. So we actually have a section in the code that defines in the R1 zone the backup space for a garage in the single family zone, which is 25 feet minus half the width of the garage door. So it's not subject to that same 25-foot backup space requirements that you might see in other zones. In this case, for a 2-car garage with the 18-foot door, well, about an 18-foot door, you're looking at maybe a 17-foot required backup space at least. So this one would provide more than the required.
Okay. I guess one of the other, when we asked that they reduce the overall height of the building, I don't believe that was achieved in these plans. As Commissioner Chang mentioned, and we confirmed, they're still at a 11-foot floor to floor. That's very high for this area, so I'm concerned about that. We had also asked for, I'm trying to look at the rendering should be more detailed and consistent with other plans. I actually see this as the renderings to be less detailed than what we saw back in May. They have the concerns about the windows in the garage, which were concerns for the neighbor, have pulling in their cars and having their headlights into that has been taken care of, so I'm glad to see that. What I believe the last plans that we saw actually had sections through the stair. I don't know if they were through the stairs, but there were sections. We have no sections right now. The elevations show no context. While there are two-story homes in the area, the adjacent properties are single-family homes. The elevation on A2, the main front elevation doesn't show the angle that are shown on the other elevations, so I don't know if that is within the standards of the city. So I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest with you. We asked for much more and we didn't get very much back. My other question to staff would be, we had two testimonies that were opposed at the last meeting. Were there any on this meeting, or when you went back out and noticed it again?
Yes, so the Commissioner Nadoli, this is Assistant Planner Alvarado. We did receive one, and it was from one of the previous members of the public that commented the last time. So that's going to be read during the public comment period.
Okay, I didn't know if we had gotten that or not. One thing I do want to point out on the elevations, again, on sheet A2, there is a section which shows the top of plate. It's a larger section, but it really doesn't translate to the elevations, because I believe that even though the applicant said that they reduced the height of the roof by 8 inches, when you actually look at that section and you see the size of the joist, the roof joist that will be there, it does not match the elevation. So my concern is, if they maintain the 11-foot floor-to-floor height, plus the second floor, floor to top plate at 9 feet, they're going to exceed what they are showing, just because you can't construct it the way they're showing it. So those are my questions, or those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vice Chair Ramos. Any comment or question?
Yes, I only have one area of concern, and that is the garage door. A2 shows a garage door with window panes on them, and the configuration of the panes on the garage door is different than what we see on the elevation in the color elevations of A4. A4 does not show windows, and it's just it's a different style door. And when you look at the sample that's shown on A3, it matches A4, not what's in A2. I do think that west elevation is important, even though it's just within the property itself. When you look at that elevation, it is, the garage door is a significant part of that elevation. So recommending that you definitely have windows and also look at carriage house details with hinges and a door handle, just to add some more details to that garage door. That's my only comment.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. Yeah.
Maybe I'll ask our city architect, can you make some comments since the last review? Have you got a chance to talk to this new designer and share some of the comments we have with them?
We did have some discussion. The drawings are simple, and there remain items that need to be corrected that were identified. The last review was review number 10. And so it's felt that the project should come forward. If you go to the conditions of approval, there are a number of conditions of approval, particularly say 8 through 14, that require quite a bit more design development and review of the project during plan check. So if your decision is to move the project forward, I think there will be probably an ongoing meeting with the architect prior to construction documents, and probably a thorough review of the construction documents themselves. And there are inconsistencies. The small rendering that is near the front of the staff report, if you look at the windows and the shape of the entry and location of the light fixtures, things like that, it does not match the other drawings. So this is what I think we often find, is that the project will need care and handling as it goes forward.
And may I ask, and will your office be involved in how much involvement will your office still be for seeing this type of refinement, so to speak?
Well, in this case, I would suggest a meeting prior to them going headlong into construction documents. But we typically are sent the set of construction documents for projects. And I think pretty much almost every project, like 1065 Kendall is an example that we're reviewing currently. So we get the set of construction documents, go back through all the notes, all the requirements, all the previous sketches, and all the requirements, conditions that the commission puts on the project, and marks up the drawings, and then if needed, checks them again.
I see. All right. So okay. So thank you. Well, I share some of the comments made by my fellow commissioners. I personally was a little disappointed when I see this. I thought we were quite clear, and based on our comment and also the public's comment. So I'd like to hear what the public comment is going next, but I was really hoping that they took our comments seriously. Unfortunately, we added 10-foot. Actually, if by the time you add the structural member, it will be a minimum 11-foot floor to floor, and then another 9-foot clear to plate. I don't think you'll make it in the 25-foot as shown on the plan anyway. So somewhere along the line, we're gonna have to give, because between the plate height and the floor height, I think the way the plan shows is something like maybe 6 inches. That would never happen anyway. So there is enough inconsistency on the plan that I think we may end up having a building taller than we approved. That could be a big problem later on when planning department come out and when they sign off the planning approval. So that's my comment. I think that either we can make some serious condition on the building height and some serious area on the design. So anyway, we'll do it in that deliberation. So let me ask the staff, did we receive any public comments regarding this project?
Yes, Chair Chang, we did receive one.
Okay, can you read it to us, please?
Yes, this one came from William and Petra Ho. Details of the proposed project, but we do know it is a two-story residence construction and will affect on our privacy. Therefore, we request to reserve our rights to take legal action for protecting our privacy if needed in the future. Sincerely, William Ho and Petra Ho. And that is the only public comment we received.
I see. Thank you very much. Okay, it is now 7:16, and the time this is the time for any further public comments on this item is now closed. The staff have any additional comments made?
Yes, so Chairman Chang, this is Assistant Planner Alvarado. So first, I just want to say thank you for providing the feedback. I just wanted to kind of provide some options of how this can move forward. So what our city architect Dale Brown was mentioning is we could have the commission tonight approve it with specific conditions of approval that will require us to continue to work with the applicant and the city architect to address these concerns. And we could check that before plan check, during plan check, or both. The third option, or the second option, is to continue it to place on our consent calendar. Currently, staff was looking at the agenda, and this is something that we were going to bring up to the commission later, I think, about next month's meeting. Might get canceled because of the holidays. So that's something to also keep in mind. If we wanted to continue it, it could come back as part of the consent calendar, similar to what we did to a project last month. Or we could continue it so it's a public hearing again. I just wanted to provide you those options as you are going through the deliberation. Thank you.
Sure, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll consider all options. I do have one quick question before. I'll let the applicant rebut to some of these things that they heard. But I do want to ask the property owner to the east, which is 717 Pearl Street. Their comment again is their privacy. Has any consideration or communication between the two property owners and the designer address that privacy issue? For instance, placing trees where the windows are and the placement of the window. Has that happened at all, Mr. Sun? Is it to the applicant's designer, Stephen Sun?
Oh, hi, yeah. Yeah.
Did you talk to your neighbor about this privacy issue?
Yeah, for that issue, we're gonna, yeah, like you said, we're gonna plant some trees along the side. Yeah, keep just at all the window area.
You put some, I see some 15-gallon fruit trees to be selected by owner. And I don't know whether that has 15 gallons, very small. I don't know if there is any consideration to place it on the second floor area and whether they look into their bedroom. And I think some more work has to be done on just a typical line up a bunch of 15-gallon fruit trees there. I don't know what species are. Is our landscape architect on the phone call? Jenny Yi?
Yeah, I'll talk to my landscape architect. We'll discuss about it and we're gonna provide a solution. Yeah.
Okay, so Jenny is not on the phone. All right, that's fine. Thank you. So with that said, let's anybody else? Nobody else is on the public side. So I'll close the public portion and then we'll go on to our own discussion and deliberation. So Commissioner Tu, what is your feeling on this? Based on the option we heard, we can further continue it, or that there's enough conditions that we can identify and rely on city staff and the city architect to see to those get done. You can just share with us your feeling on that.
This is Commissioner Chu speaking. Yes, I also felt a bit disappointed about the result being presented tonight. Comparing the two set of drawing, don't see any improvement in terms of the design. Also, the applicant didn't address the 4-to-4 height issue. I think mainly the design change was focused on the floor plan as internal, is not part of the discussion here in the design review meeting. So there's still more work needs to be done to give more design details to the project. I would recommend to have a better illustration for the render, because the design might not be that bad if you have shadows and just better presentation. Currently the render, the quality of the render isn't isn't as ideal for us to make a decision if this is like a good design for the neighborhood or not. That's what I'm feeling.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Salo?
Correct me if I'm mistaken. I heard that the applicant had submitted this application 10 times previously to get to this point. Is that correct, Dale? That this was the 10th submittal or the 10th round?
That's correct.
Okay, so it appears that there is some resistance to the city architect's design recommendations, or there's some stubbornness there on either the designer or the owner's part to not maybe take all of the comments seriously. So I guess in that regard, I don't know how confident we can be proceeding with just recommendations if they've been through this 10 rounds and this is where we're at. So I think possibly maybe we need to continue this.
Yes, I appreciate that. Of course, there's always one more option is to have a case denial. If you feel that after 10 times, if you're not getting anywhere, that means the applicant had not taken it very seriously. And we've seen other much more successful applications coming in. But if we are not getting there, then also there is a possibility that we can look into that possibility. So I'll go on to Commissioner Nadoni. Can you share with your feeling on this project?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Nadoni. Because of the comments that have been made by the other commissioners, I don't feel comfortable approving this, recommending this for approval. So I would vote no tonight. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Vice Chair Ramos?
I'm also concerned that if this is approved, even with conditions, that staff would have a very difficult time going back and forth with the applicant to try to implement any desires and directions and conditions stated by the design commission. So I think it's problematic if we do approve at this point as well.
Thank you, Vice Chair Ramos. I heard everybody. I agree with all the comments made. I'm just disappointed to see that a identified architecture style home that is so lack of detail, so lack of character, that has gone in for 10 times, and the proportionally having a 10-foot ceiling height to the play height may look a little awkward inside. I know they try to get the maximum volume, but it will not work with this style. So, and again, the neighbors to 717 has comment concerns me greatly. The fact that they went to a landscape architect without addressing why the trees on that side. It's lucky that it's not even on the driveway side, but it's on the side yard side, where they could have easily look at the east elevation and address those windows up high and have those trees placed in the right place and share that with the neighbors. I'm sure they would be a lot more comfortable than just having a building 5 feet away overlooking into their yard. So there's enough work that needed to be done. I don't think this thing can go into approval tonight because I think we just left too much unresolved issues to leave it to staff and leave it to city architect. I think you guys will be doing the work for the design, which is unfair. So there's a question for staff. Is there a required action date on this, or do they need to waive the requirement date?
Again, this is Assistant Planner Alvarado. Chairman Chang, I would suggest, just because of the uncertainty of next month's meeting, that we can continue this, if the commission is okay with it, to January 25th, 2021, which would be the January's regularly scheduled design review commission meeting. I think that also provides a lot of time for staff, city architect to meet with the applicant and to go through everything, make sure that we address every one of these comments adequately, and even more so to present a better project coming before you next time. So if commissioner is okay with it, January 25th, 2021.
Yes, Chairman and
Yes.
members of the commission. This is Planning Manager Samantha. I would also add that if, depending on the applicant's or the designer's response, the applicant can also choose to continue to a date uncertain, just depending on the amount of time that's needed to address the comments. This is although it has been 10 rounds in total, this is the current designer's first attempt at it. I believe the guidance provided by the Design Commission this evening are quite clear. And so at this time, staff recommends that the project either gets continued to the January meeting or to a date uncertain, depending on the designer's response.
I think. Do we want to ask the designer or the owner's rep? Would they feel comfortable with the January date, or would they rather have a little bit more time past that date? Mr. Chang, no, Sunny, Stevenson, you're the designer. Do you hear all the comments made? Do you feel that January 25th, 2021 will be sufficient time? I hope you heard the comments and take it to heart and try to work with some qualified architect to understand what it takes, what that style of architecture means, and do some refinement work on the project. Can you share with me what will be your pleasure? January 25th or any other day after?
Yeah, that day should be okay. Yeah, I think I have enough time to refine the design per your comments. Yeah, because this is the first time I just attending this meeting. I just take over the job from another designer. So yeah, I'm comfortable to take it on that date.
All right, so January 25th. But let me say this, I think this thing has been in and out for so many times, if that's the case. It's unfair to the neighbors, unfair to the city. So if they come back in January, if the thing is no change, if none of these comments made tonight are not there, I think you may be just asking for a denial, and then the case will be denied. At least I want to be as fair I can to you and to the others. So so you need to talk to the owner, and I would definitely talk to your neighbors next door, so that either you got the approval and you got a lawsuit, and then you put an order to stop your construction. That's not good either. So you need to work it out with your neighbors. All right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, understand. Thank you.
okay. Sure. So with that said, the science side, we can entertain a motion for continuance to January 25th, 2021. Do I hear a motion on that?
This is Commissioner Nadolny. I'm move to continue.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
This is Vice Chair Romo. I second that motion.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Roll call vote, Commissioner Tu,
Yes.
Commissioner Salo,
Yes.
Commissioner Nadolny,
Yes.
Vice Chair Romo,
Yes.
Chair Chang.
Yes.
Motion passed. Vote is 5-0.
Thank you very much. I think staff had copied down some of the conversation and know some of the conditions and concerns, and please work with the applicant, and hopefully we'll see a passing solution come January. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to item B, 1060 East Broadway, planning case number SPR 18-8084, site plan review, and Assistant Planner Alvarado. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chairman Chang. Good evening again, Chairman and Commissioners, Vice Chair. The next item before you tonight is for a site plan review to propose a new two-story house with a detached garage at 1060 East Broadway, planning case number SPR 18-084. Slide number 2, please. The project site is located on the south side of East Broadway Street, or of East Broadway, between South Willard Avenue to the west and South Walnut Grove Avenue to the east. Slide number 3, please. The property is currently developed with a 1,717 square foot single family home. The property is surrounded by other single family residences to the north, east, south, and west of the subject site. Slide number 4, please. The project site is zoned as R1, or single family residence, and has a general land use designation of low density residential. Slide number 5, please. The proposed project is for the new 2,723 square foot, two-story single family residence, approximately 1,655 square feet on the first floor and 1,068 square feet on the second floor. The project also proposes a detached two-car garage towards the rear of the subject site. This proposed project also consists of a 768 square foot accessory dwelling unit, or ADU. However, similar to the last project, according to Government Code 65282.2, the ADU must be considered ministerially without a discretionary review or hearing. As a result, the ADU is not part of the DRC's decision tonight. Slide number 6, please. The proposed architectural style is a Spanish Revival style. The proposed project provides many elements such as recessed brown, dark brown frame windows in a variety of sizes, curved elements, a covered porch with a wooden door, a single wooden door and side lights, exposed roof rafters, decorative features such as the vent clay pipes and some iron work that is going over some of the windows. The project also exhibits a color combination that is typical of the style, and overall the composition of the elements and materials successfully implements the city's design guidelines. Slide number 7, please. The proposed project meets the San Gabriel Municipal Code requirements for setbacks, parking, building height, lot coverage, and floor area ratio. It provides setbacks that are within the requirements of the San Gabriel Municipal Code, and lot coverage and FAR calculations that are under 30%, and is lower than the maximum allowed building height in the R1 zone. Slide number 8, please. The San Gabriel Municipal Code requires a comparison of 1-story versus 2-story single-family homes within the 300-foot radius of the subject site. There are currently 5 properties with a 2-story residence within the 300-foot radius that are outlined on the slide above with a red X. A photo survey of these properties were included in your packets tonight. Slide number 9, please. The general land use designation is low density residential, which would allow for the proposed project. This project also meets the following goal of the 2004 general plan, which is community design goal 10.3, which is to create designs that live and breathe with San Gabriel's neighborhoods as they themselves live and breathe. Slide number 10, please. The proposed project is exempt from the requirements of the California Environmental Quality Act per guideline 15303, class 3, for new construction or conversion of small structures. Slide 11, please. This project was noticed for the public hearing tonight in the following ways. A mailing notice was mailed to the property owners within the 300-foot radius. Notice was posted at the project site. Notice was posted in the San Gabriel Sun, and copies of the agenda were posted in front of City Hall, Post Office, San Gabriel Library, and on the city's website. Slide number 12, please. This concludes staff's presentation. With that, staff recommends that the Design Review Commission adopt a resolution of the Design Review Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number SPR 18-084 for a site plan review at 1060 East Broadway to allow the construction of a new 2-story single-family residence and 2-car garage, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commission, and staff is ready for any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Any questions for staff, please? From any commissioner. Okay, seeing none, I'll go on to the applicant's presentation. Is the applicant or the applicant's representative here? Please identify your name and address for the record.
Yes, this is Assistant Planner Alvarado. We have the designer, Larry, on the call. Larry, if you can please unmute yourself and give a presentation if you like on the proposed project. Thank you.
So yeah, I'm Larry. Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for asking me to introduce this project. Yeah. So Yeah. So the project is it's a new two-story single-family house with a new ADU. Yeah. So what's the question, sir? Please.
Well, if you have any additional information you want to share with the commission, that'd be great. If you do not have any additional presentation, then you can be ready for some questions.
Oh yeah, I have no additional information. Yeah.
Okay, you have no more information, then we're ready for question then.
Okay.
I'll start with Commissioner Tu. Do you have any questions for the applicant?
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm here.
Commissioner speaking. So I do have a couple questions for Larry. First of all, I noticed that the dominant style is Spanish, but the back of the building facing to the backyard landscape area, you do design a large glass door with a window, floor to floor height, even cover like a little deck space under the staircase, beyond the staircase. I was wondering what was the purpose of this full length glass wall. It was a bit out of place for a design like this. Secondly, I was wondering, I don't know if this is part of the review, but I noticed that you have the ADU parking space in front of the two-car garage that was designated for the ADU parking, but it actually is in the way of the backup space of the primary resident parking garage. So I wonder how is that going to be resolved? That's two of my questions. This is my two questions. Rather than that, I think overall the design is pretty decent. I would like to give the credit to the designer. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Yeah, the first thing is at the back at the back of the main house, we got large glass door and opening. It's just for the the owner want to have the view at the rear yard. Yeah, so for the privacy, we just in the rear yard in the middle, we got the tree wall to block each other. Yeah, so block the ADU and the main house. Okay, yeah, and the second item, your question about the parking, right? The parking is
yes, the
hello.
Yes, the ADU parking in front of the primary resident parking garage.
Yeah, near the main parking garage. Yeah, you see the location. I think it's a 10 by 20 parking space. Yeah, so hello.
Yeah, we hear you. The question is that you need to move the car back the car every time when somebody needs to come out from the second car garage. Is that the idea, or how is that going to work? So it's like a tandem parking, right?
Yeah, this parking just at the side yard area. So because it's sometimes it's a temporary parking. So we don't want to block the two-car garage. Yeah, so.
Yes, Commissioner Tu, this is Planning Manager Samantha Tiwasart. In response to that, according to the city's regulations on accessory dwelling units, the state law requires that that a designated parking space be identified on the site plan. The requirement is that it be on a non-permeable surface. and it can be identified on the existing driveway. So it does meet the state regulations for an accessory dwelling unit.
Correct. I think what you're saying is that the two-car garage is really for the main dwelling. The unidentified parking space on the driveway is for the ADU. That's how they meet the requirement. Correct.
That's correct. And also, in addition to that, there is the entire length of the driveway that can also function as additional parking if needed for both the primary unit and the accessory dwelling unit.
Correct. Thank you. So it's really okay. I think you hear the question, but then I'm sure there will be further discussion on the rear elevation. That's so. Commissioner 2, do you have anything for the applicant? I know you may not be satisfied with his answer, but I think we still have others, and we can go back and wrap up that question for him. Do you have anything?
Yes, I don't have further questions.
Okay, Commissioner Sarah, question for the applicant. Any further? Commissioner Sarah?
Just a simple comment. I think that the north elevation, the street elevation, is quite handsome. So I'm definitely looking forward to the follow through. Be sure you follow through with high quality materials. And then I did want to reiterate Commissioner 2's point about the modern kind of glass look aesthetic on the south elevation. I think perhaps maybe if there was some consistency with the metalwork that's being used on the front and sides of the building can be applied in that area as well, it could help mitigate some of the contrast between the traditional and the modern style. But other than that, I think this is a handsome project in an area of the city that's about to go significant changes. We've seen a lot of projects within like a 5-minute walking distance of this lot. So I think this is a welcome addition. That's all.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Nadoni?
Yes, I do have, I also am concerned about that south elevation. If I could ask the applicant, there appears to be 2 windows on the left-hand side, which I guess is on the west-hand side, and you show them as glass. Is that intended to be clear glass?
Hello, ma'am. You mean which elevation? East elevation?
On the south elevation, where we've been discussing these full-length glass, which are in what you called out for steel moment frame. The 2 doors, large windows, actually they're windows to the west. Are they clear glass?
Oh yeah, okay. Just steel moment, just for the structure design. So not a part of the architecture. So I will remove the word. Yeah. So steel frame just for the structure. Yeah.
So if you're using floor to ceiling glass that fit within this steel moment frame, how are you cladding? How are you covering this steel moment frame? Because you don't show that on your elevation.
Okay, the steel moment will inside the house, not outside. So I mean outside will finish by wood framing to cover around it and do the stucco outside. Yeah.
Right now, you don't have enough room to do that. By the looks of your elevation, you're pointing to a steel column, which you show exposed. But if you can cover that, that would be fine. But I don't think you can do it with the size windows that you have on that south elevation. My question again is, there appear to be 2 large windows on the west side of that south elevation. Are those clear glass?
Ma'am, you mean the west side?
If I'm looking at your elevation, it would be on the left.
Left hand side, I mean, by the staircase.
That is the one
Yeah.
that is on the website, yes.
Yes. Are those clear glass?
Yeah, it's a fixed window. Yeah, so it's a narrow high window. Yeah, fixed window. Yeah, so it's a very narrow. Yeah, so just I mean for the stairway, have the view outside. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, here's the problem. You have clear glass looking into construction, what appears to be the construction of your staircase. How does that work?
Okay, let me see. You mean the window just on the back of the stairway, right?
On the south elevation, two of the windows on the left-hand side you cannot see in because they are behind the stair.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, so these two windows just for the decoration purpose. Yeah, not actually the window. You know, just I mean, for the outside the elevation to look at. I mean, to consistent with the whole back wall. Yeah. So this wall, I mean, this window is just not actually working. Just I mean, for the decoration purpose. Yeah. So because inside we have the wood framing. Yeah.
All right, so are you trying to tell me that that's spandrel glass in that in those two windows on the south side?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so these two windows just for the decoration purpose. Yeah, so I mean it's it cannot open, just fixed.
Well, you can't open it and you can't even look through it.
Yeah, so it's just for the the whole the house back wall just for the decoration purpose. Yeah, so the owner wants to equal with we equal each
Larry,
side of the wall.
Larry, this is Planning Manager Samantha Tiwasart. What is the finish of the glass? Is it clear? How is it finished? Of those two windows, what type of windows are they? What is the glass?
It's a tempered glass, yeah.
Tempered glass. Is there a finish on it, or are they spandrel? What type of glass?
Just tempered glass with the framing surround the glass. Yeah, so yeah.
Oh,
it.
Larry.
Yeah, I'm here.
哦，就是问是不是透明玻璃，就是可以看过去透明玻璃。
是透明玻璃，但是里边不是有那个楼梯间嘛，所以它是看不过去，只是一个装饰的作用。
他就是问是透明玻璃还是磨砂玻璃这样。
OK， 就是刚才磨砂玻璃，磨砂玻璃我不会讲那个磨砂玻璃呀。
It's
Steve, if we can ask you, sorry, this is
he understands the question. So, all right. So I think what he's talking to the owner about, he said it's going to be a spandrel glass, cannot see through, it's opaque, but I don't know what color it is. I just don't think that's proper anyway. So we will. This is what he has in mind. It's not see-through glass. It is opaque. It's spandrel glass. That's what they're.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured that, but I just wanted to make sure that the owner and the designer understood. I don't believe that south elevation is consistent at all with the Spanish Revival elevation or the design of this project. I think that needs to be changed. If you're going to want to have doors with a lot of glass, you have French doors on the, I guess it's on the east side of the building. I don't know why you just don't match those doors. That's one thing. The other thing is the diamond window grid on the north elevation. It does not, again, it's not consistent in my mind with the character of the Spanish Revival. I don't know where that diamond grid came from, but it looks out of place. I was not able to follow the doors and windows because your schedule doesn't seem to be coordinated with the plans. So I couldn't follow it at all. I had to make guesses, which is not something we like to do here in the design review. So that needs to be improved. That's for both the doors and the windows. I have a concern about, again, 11 feet floor to floor. I think it's too high. I think you should bring that down. I also have concern with the 6-inch dimension. We had on the second floor, your top of plate is at 9 feet, and then you have a 6-inch dimension, which will encompass all of your roof and structure. I don't believe that's enough. So what's going to happen is if you maintain that 11-foot floor to floor and a 9-foot to the top plate on the second floor, with your type of roof and your material on your roof, it's going to exceed your exterior dimension height. So I have a concern with that. I understand that we have very little jurisdiction on an ADU. However, I don't believe that that parking space showing as you are showing it is correct at all. You cannot block, you know, if that garage is for the front house, and then you have somebody renting out that back house, I don't see how you can block that garage and those parking spaces by another car. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
I think we already addressed all of your comments, and let me go into Vice Chair Ramos. You have any question or comments on this for the designer?
I just want to reiterate both Commissioner Tu's and Commissioner Nadoli's comments regarding the south elevation. That's going to be extremely problematic when you look at the style of the house, and then also the diamond grid on the enclosed patio. That design is not part of the Spanish colonial revival architecture and should be changed to something that's more typical of the style, or look at an element that's already being used in the house and repeat it in the front. Those are my comments.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. My comments is pretty much what was outlined earlier. I am completely shocked to see the sub elevation. Here we got a building where they try very hard trying to change some of the characters and some of the architectural features from the curve and some of the architectural elements in the front elevation and the side elevation. And all of a sudden went to the back, they put them in the frame and put in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big piece of fixed glass that it says fixed glass, and I don't understand this either. Looking at the dimension, it says 3 by 12. I don't see how you can fit a 3 by 12 in a 10-foot plate height anyway. You won't be able to get a 12-foot out of 10-foot. It says 3 by 12 on the plan, and it's only 10 foot from plate height to floor. So the sort of 3 by 12 is all wrong. And what I don't also understand is that if you look at the sub elevation, your second floor already has the correct window. Why can't you repeat that downstairs anyway to make it consistent? So I think the first floor sub elevation is it just doesn't work. all. So especially the area where behind the stairs, having two pieces of big glass will be really awkward with a pair of frameless storefront to go to the backyard. That's also out of character. And all these fixed glass, if they are truly fixed glass, you're only going to be sorry because when the sun hits it on the south elevation all day to a big piece of fixed glass and you can't even open the door, it's going to be like an oven for the day. If there's so much heat gain, it doesn't work also. So with that said, I think it's important for the applicant to change that first floor south elevation coincide with the upper floor and or the door on the elevation on the east elevation. You already have those French doors. Those will give you just as much vision anyway. So those that will work. There were a couple elements I think they picked on that doesn't belong to this style architecture. I think the city architect can easily work with the applicant on those. But overall, I think we have 3.5 sides that are looking very charming. Just have some minor modification. That 1.5 side of the back elevation downstairs just need to be reworked with the city architect's help to get it to the right thing. Commissioner Adoni, you have a question? Do you have a comment?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did miss something, and I think it's kind of critical because it's on the north elevation on the first floor, and it's regarding the 3-part window that has the diamond grid in it. I noticed that it's split. It's split between the master bathroom and the closet. So I'm trying to understand how a window that would be facing to the street, with that length and that detail, I mean, you're making an effort to make it some kind of a nice window, but it looks into a closet and it looks into a master bathroom. And it's split. I've never seen anything like this in a new house where you actually have a 3-part window and you have a wall right splitting it. I see it in renovations, in additions possibly, but never in a designed house. And I think it's very awkward, and I don't think it's appropriate for the street facing elevation. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, because you can see that they put all the closet in the master bathroom at the front, versus they could have easily flipped the master bedroom, the sleeping quarter on that side, and have the bathroom on the back side. But you're right, it's very difficult to make it look right. I think, I think it's kind of unfortunate that they trying to work on the elevation, but without looking into what's behind it. I think that's another area that can definitely use some improvement, and I appreciate that. So maybe I just ask city staff and city architect, based on what we heard, especially on the rear elevation where the outside contemporarily full glass elevation that doesn't have anything to do with this style of architecture, and also the 3 windows in the front. Is that something, Dale, you can massage it and make it workable?
Chairman Chang, yes, I believe we can. We actually had provided an alternate elevation sketch, and that may not be the final solution, but we do think that there are options on that south elevation. All those issues, it just doesn't work. Glazing into the niches and those spaces, the style itself, you know, the glazing shown, floor all the way up to ceiling. The room is going to bake, even with, you know, different kinds of glazing. So I think there's solutions there, yes. And I think the other comments also are all addressable.
Okay. So you feel comfortable? What about you, Alvarado? You feel comfortable that you can work with the applicant and the city architect to come up with a workable solution?
Hi, Chairman Cheng. Thank you. Yes, I think that that's something that we could work out with the city architect, and we could ensure that it's something that's addressed before the building plan check. I do want to also mention that I believe this one did get a public comment as well, so we still have the public comment period, just in case there's some other areas that we need to look at. We could also do that as well during your deliberation after the public comment period.
Thank you. All right. So, is there? I do hear that there is a public comment. Staff, can you please read that to us?
Yes, this one came from Thomas Liu. Is there any way that you can plant the taller trees around to protect the privacy of neighbors? Since it's a two-story building, maybe small trees, but potential to grow taller in the future. Thanks, I am the neighbor. And that's all the public comment.
Did they tell you the address? Are they to the right or to the left? Do you know?
No, they didn't specify.
Okay. So maybe they should try to address that on both sides. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Are there any other comments?
That's the only public comment.
Thank you very much. It is now 8:07, and there will be no more public comments to be admitted, and now it's closed. Are there any further staff comments on this?
Thank you, Chairman Cheng. So again, this is Assistant Planner Alvarado, and I think that's another, if the commission feels comfortable, you know, letting city architect and staff kind of work with the applicant to address the concerns that were brought up regarding the south elevation, regarding the windows in the front, and also with this comment that came in from the public, working with the applicant to explore the installation of landscape screening, more landscape screening actually. So yeah, those are the only comments I have at this time. Thank you.
All right. I guess one more question for the applicant. I just want to make sure you and your owner understand that the comment, even if we approve it with condition, I think those conditions will stand, and you need to share that with the owner that this elevation at the rear with those height plate glass is not going to work. So they need to work with the architect and staff, and also the front window need to be reworked, and you need to work with the neighbors on the trees, the size and all of that for privacy concern. Is that acceptable to you and to the owner?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I will consider it. Yeah, reconsider about the south elevation and the window in the front. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay. With that said, to the commissioners, it sounds like that all the three conditions that we have addressed will be part of the condition for city staff and city architect to work to a workable solution. Subject to all these conditions, then we can approve the project. With that said, is there any further discussion?
Yeah, thank you.
If not, I'd like to entertain a motion with these added conditions to approve the project.
Chairman Ching, sorry, I think Commissioner Nadoli had a comment.
Go ahead, Commissioner Nadoli.
Thank you. Yeah, this is Commissioner Nadoli. I did want to make sure that one of the conditions is the height of the building.
Yes.
The concern with the 11-foot floor to floor and then not having enough space for the structure. So what they're showing, we need to, that needs to be looked at. So I guess what I would move that we approve this based on the height of the building, taking a look at the height of the building, looking at the south elevation, revising the south elevation to conform more with the actual style. And the north elevation, again, the window on the north elevation first floor, it needs to be revised, and again, to follow more of the character of the Spanish Revival, and to take a look at how a closet, how the interior would work on the north elevation. So are those the three conditions that we're looking at?
Yes. As a matter of fact, if you like, you can actually condition the height to be 9-foot play height, both first and second floor. That way, we'll already reduce our overall height by 1 foot. I think 9 foot is plenty for this house. It will look beautiful anyway. Would you?
I agree.
Yeah. So it would be a 9-foot floor to play on both first and second floor. Okay. That's
Chairman Chang and Commissioner Ndoli, I think the fourth one was working with the landscaping.
Correct.
To try to get some screening.
Correct.
For privacy issue, yeah.
So on those conditions, I move to approve.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Staff got all four conditions. Do I hear a second on this motion?
This is Commissioner Salo. I second that motion.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Roll call vote. Commissioner Tu?
Yes.
Commissioner Salo?
Yes.
Commissioner Nadolny?
Yes.
Vice Chair Romo?
Yes.
Chair Chang?
Yes.
Motion carried. Vote is 5-0.
Thank you very much. So applicant work with city staff and work with city architect to bring the project to a better solution at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Right, we'll move on to item C1211 South Ramona Street, planning case number SPR 19-066, site plan review. Senior planner Matt Chang will do the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and members of the Commission. For your consideration tonight, a second floor addition to an existing one-story single family house is proposed in front of you. And the subject location is at 1211 South Ramona Street. If you go to the next slide. The subject site is to the left side or west side of South Ramona Street, facing Chestnut Avenue. The rear of this property is actually within the City of Alhambra jurisdiction, and the property behind this site is City of Alhambra municipal facilities. It looks like a public works yard for City of Alhambra. Can you go to slide number 3? Currently, there's a one-story single-family house, and this is the front view of the existing house. Like staff mentioned in staff report that there was addition approved back in 1990, and you look at this current picture, and the addition was to the left side of this picture, which was kind of the lower slope area. And the addition was approved in 1990 for the side part of the partial side area as well as to the rear. Next slide, please. The proposed project will be a second floor addition to the existing one-story house, and this is the proposed front elevation view as you're looking at from South Ramona. Next slide, please. Staff has reviewed this project in accordance with the city's municipal code, and the project itself complies with several R1 development standards, including but not limited to building height, setbacks, floor area ratio, as well as lot coverage. And the next slide, please. As part of the site plan review requirement for design review consideration, staff has to identify other two-story houses in the neighborhood. And so according to this picture, and also some of the research, staff has identified 5 two-story houses within a 300-foot radius of the site. Next slide. The project itself comply with the land use designation of the general plan, which is low density residential. And the project itself also comply with the design goal, which is create a design that meets the St. Gabriel design review criteria. Next slide. The project is categorically exempt from CEQA requirement as a Class 1 exemption, which Class 1 is a minor alteration to an existing facilities, and the project itself is an addition to an existing single-family house. So this project is considered a minor alteration to an existing house. Slide number 9. The project requires public notice to all property owners within a 300-foot radius. The meeting agenda for this DRC meeting was posted at City Hall, Post Office, a library, as well as on the city website. Next slide, please. In conclusion, staff is recommending the Design Review Commission to adopt resolution to approve the second floor addition based on the findings in your resolution and subject to the recommended conditions of approval. And this concludes staff's presentation, and staff is ready for questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any question for staff? Yes, Vice Chair Ramos.
Yes, I have a question. I understand that they're doing a second story addition to the rear of the property. My concern is to the front of the property, going back to that addition that was approved in the 1990s, looking at the ground floor. To me, there should have been some changes with that first approval. And my question is, are we allowed to make changes and recommendations to the ground floor of the existing house?
Yes, Chairman Chang and members of the commission, this is Planning Manager Samantha T. Wassart. Any construction work that was approved with permits is considered legal conforming to the property. However, it is within the Design Commission's purview to provide recommendations to the designer and the architect for their consideration. However, if there are permit records in place, then there are prior approvals for what is in place.
Okay, I do have a question, because there is a house on Ramona that does not have a front door at all. It's probably about within a half a mile of this house. And, you know, that city staff overlooked that way back when. I don't know if the front of this property was something that was overlooked by city staff at that time. And since the applicant is now looking to do improvements to the property, you know, that front, even though they have a permit, I think that that's something that we should be looking at.
Just to answer Vice Chair Romo's questions, yes, there was a permit in 1990 for the side portion addition to the side of the house, so to the rear, and if Vice Chair or other members of the commission can I guess provide suggestions to the design and alternatives, and maybe staff can get the city architect to provide some ideas, feedbacks, and to have a kind of continuous conversation about this project. Any other design alternatives, approach, in consideration of what the applicant wants to do, but also kind of keep kind of what the project currently has, since they do have a legal permit. So that's what staff has, what my comments at this time.
Okay, thank you. Any other question for staff? Ben, I just have a quick one. Has city architect looked at this application at all? Did they?
Yes.
He did?
Yes. So the project was submitted around, I believe, September or November of last year, 2019. And the project went through several reiterations, several changes, and city architect consulting, our consultant city architect did provide comments to the project design. So that being several rounds of design going back and forth. And the design in front of you is based on city architect's comment, and also what city architects can recommend to DRC for approval.
Okay. Are there any other questions for staff?
This is Commissioner Du speaking.
Yes.
I do have a question for staff. So the scope of the work is just for the second story addition. There's nothing change proposed for the front facade. Is that true?
Part of the project will be second floor addition, and also the front facade. There is Jonathan. Is that possible? You can bring back the area, the front elevation picture. Currently, they have a porch in front of the. I think it was slide number 3 was a picture. So currently, they have a porch to the right-hand side, front porch. So they're going to remove that little lower slope porch portion, get rid of the porch, the roof cover, because right now, if we include that porch cover, they will exceed the floor area ratio requirement. So what happens, they will keep the concrete, but they will remove that roof to your right-hand side. So the porch will be just the gable in the middle.
Okay.
And also, of course, the second floor will be on top of the existing one-story house.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question for staff or before we open up to the okay, seeing none, we'll see if we can talk to the applicant. Is the applicant or the applicant's representative here? Matt, are they here?
Staff leave either Nathan or Ramon Carlito is here.
So you really designer, please unmute yourself and identify yourself. So Matt, it looks like they're not here. Were they here at all earlier?
It appears staff is recommending whether the commissioner can ask for any public comment while staff is trying to reach out to the.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So let me hear if there is any public comments received by the city. If you do, please read it to us.
We did not receive public comment for this item.
I see. Okay, thank you. So is Nathan Collado in the audience? Looks like he is not. Staff is not seeing any caller in at this time. That is not part of it. There is a presenter on the screen. That's not for this project, is it?
Yes, Chairman and members of the commission, at this time, staff recommends that the commission can consider reorganizing the agenda, maybe come back to this item after the presentation item to give the applicant an opportunity to jump on a call.
Okay, why don't we do that? We'll take the next agenda item calendar, and then we'll move that one up, and then we'll come back to this one if the presenters will call back later. So we'll move on to agenda item number 4, which is staff item. They're going to be doing a presentation on A414-2420 South San Gabriel Boulevard, pending case number PPD 19-008, precise plan of design. It's also presented by Senior Planner Matt Chang.
Yes, thank you, Chair and members of the Commission. The item before you tonight is a project preview. So what that means, the project is in front of you to provide actual comments, but there's no decision making tonight regarding this item. The item before you tonight is a self-storage development at 414-420 South San Gabriel Boulevard. Please go to slide number 2. The project is to the right-hand side or east of South San Gabriel Boulevard, north of Commercial Avenue, and on the left side of South Gladys Avenue. Next slide, please. The proposed project will be a self-storage development with our studio facing San Gabriel Boulevard, and the subject currently has 6 buildings, and this is the building. This is the view looking at San Gabriel Boulevard, looking at east, and all 6 buildings will be demolished to accommodate the proposed project. Next slide, please. This is a current view of the subject side looking from Commercial Avenue. As part of the project will improve the sidewalk, remove the power pole, and also provide additional street dedication on Gladys Avenue, make the street a little bit wider. Next slide, please. Like staff mentioned a little bit earlier, that this is the view looking on Gladys Avenue. So the project will require a 25 feet street dedication. So the picture in front of you will be a wider to accommodate a regular Gladys Avenue, including a curb, sidewalk, as well as city landscaping area. Next slide, please. The project is, the overall project will be a zone change, which is a planned development overlay zone. The project also will be merge 11 parcel to combine to 1 parcel of record. The construction itself will be almost 200,000 square feet of building with self-storage use as well as our studio. The project will provide 50 parking spaces on the surface, and there will be no subterranean parking for this project. Next slide, please. The entire entitlements required for this project will be a zone change, planned development overlay zone, and those are involved with Planning Commission recommendation, and City Council will be providing review the project and provide the overall decision making regarding the zone change, plan development, overlay zone, and also tentative parcel map. The project itself will require a precise plan of design as well as a master sign plan if City Council approve the zone change as well as tentative parcel map. Next page, please. And this is a proposed elevation view looking from San Gabriel Boulevard, and the number of story facing San Gabriel Boulevard will be 4 feet. The 5-story portion will be facing Commercial and Gladys, and so the 4-story portion will be facing San Gabriel Boulevard. Next slide, please. This is a proposed elevation view from Commercial Avenue. There'll be a 5-story portion facing this angle. Next slide, please. In conclusion, staff is recommending the Design Review Commission to provide comments pertaining to architectural design of this particular project. Staff would like to mention that following staff's presentation and also Commission's question for staff, the developer team also have their own PowerPoint presentation after this to kind of better illustrate, kind of provide more detailed description of this project. And this concludes staff's presentation, and staff is ready for questions. Thank you. Chair Chen, I think you're muted.
Sorry, yes, I was muted. And any question for staff? I do have one, maybe I can ask quickly. I heard that this is not just for public storage, but there's some art studio. Should we wait until the applicant do the presentation? Do you have any additional information for us?
Yes, staff can provide preliminary information. There will be art studio on the 1st and 2nd floor of this building facing St. Gabriel Boulevard as part of the overall building intent or design intent. The applicant is identified, there will be installing public art facing St. Gabriel Boulevard, but at this point, it's a preliminary kind of idea that they haven't kind of narrowed down what they want to do. Is as far as the design wise, they haven't identified the public art pieces that will be facing St. Gabriel Boulevard. But the applicant can provide elaborate a little bit more during their presentation.
Okay, we'll ask him at that time. Any other questions from the commissioner to staff? Mr. Salem?
Yeah, I have a question. We've been reviewing a lot of projects in this area, particularly on the street. And if I recall correctly, the majority of the projects have a heavy retail component with mixed-use residential above. And my question is, how does this project fit with all the projects that we know are coming down the line contextually?
Yes, the Design Review Commission has been reviewed several projects along this stretch of St. Gabriel Boulevard. For example, the couple projects to the north of this side, the Rubio Village, and as well as the 220 South St. Gabriel. I think staff just took it to this commission last month. And there are more mixed use, which commercial components at the bottom and residential on the top. And this project is a little bit different. It's more self-storage use with public art studio facing St. Gabriel Boulevard. So the usage is different than what you typically see or being presented in front of this commission, as well as planning commission, as well as city council.
Yeah, we'll be interested to find out. That was caller number 16. That is number 16 one of the applicants on this project?
The applicant will provide a PowerPoint presentation afterwards, so
okay.
They're not written. Yeah.
Okay. So if there's
Thank you,
more,
Matt.
yeah, if there's no more question for staff, I'll open it up for the applicant to share their presentation. Maybe we can have some of these questions that we have answered by them. Go ahead, Matt. Can you invite the applicant to share their presentation?
Yes. So the applicant team will have the project architect as well as land use consultant to provide their version for their PowerPoint presentation. So Shane or Michelle, please.
Hi, thanks, Matt. This is Michelle Bach. I'm representing the architecture firm for this project, EAPC Architects. We do have a, thank you. So slide 1, here for our Design Review Commission preview, we appreciate you guys taking the time to provide initial feedback for our design. you please go to slide 2. This is the project location as Matt has already described. We are on the northeast corner of San Gabriel and Commercial Avenue. It is 11 separate parcels currently that we are combining into one lot with a tentative parcel map. We also have Gladys Avenue, so we are fronted by 3 streets with a 3-story building on our north property. Next slide, please. These are some photos of the existing conditions facing San Gabriel, looking both north and south of the existing single-story uses. This is an industrial storage park and some old retail buildings that are on the site currently, a mixture of uses. Next slide, please. These next few photos are the existing conditions on Commercial Avenue with some homes that I think were being used for the commercial uses of the motor coach storage area, storage lot, with some additional industrial uses on the south side of Commercial Avenue, some car repair uses. And then next slide, please. On Gladys Avenue is currently a smaller alley, undefined street, accessing just a couple businesses. It is a dead end at the north end of our property. So we are, with our presentation or our proposal, going to widen the street by 25 feet in order to work with the city on the street improvement plans. And as Matt had mentioned, we'll be providing sidewalk improvements, curb and gutter improvements, and landscaping improvements along Gladys Avenue to start that street improvement, which will start to tie in with some of the current projects going on to the south of us, also on Gladys Avenue, that have recently been approved in San Gabriel. Next slide, please. This is our proposed site plan with the landscaping shown on our property. Our main entrance would be off of San Gabriel, but we do have driveway accesses on Commercial Ave and Gladys as well. Our parking kind of wrapping on the south portion of the L shape around the property. The very corner building, brick single-story printing business, is staying as is, so our project is wrapping around it. The San Gabriel Boulevard, we're enhancing with landscaping trees and tree wells, as well as a widened plaza sidewalk area to tie in with properties to the north and south of our project. The front half of our building facing San Gabriel is left open for artist and studio maker suites, with an area for an art gallery space that would be open to the community and art events, and then as well as being able to flow out onto the front plaza area for any events that might happen on, such as a First Friday art event. The right adjacent, as you go into the site a little bit more, there's a separate office area, office and retail area component specifically for the storage unit or the storage use. And then there are an additional 2 lobby areas along Gladys Avenue and one coming off of Commercial Avenue that service the self-storage use. The project does have 4 stories that are planned along the northwest portion of the property facing San Gabriel, with the portion of the building that runs north and south parallel with Gladys Avenue being a 5-story building. The first and second floor are removed underneath the driveway area, so it is just a levels 3, 4, and 5 that create an overhang as you travel from San Gabriel straight through the property out to Gladys Avenue. So it creates a covered loading and unloading space for the future tenants of the self-storage use. Next slide, please. These are two rendering images that you can see our project facing San Gabriel Boulevard, with the first 2 floors along San Gabriel being dedicated to the artist and maker suite, and the top 2 floors facing San Gabriel for the self-storage use. The bottom image is as you drive into the property, we have a set of doors that lead into the art gallery, and then further down an entrance for the retail office of the storage use. Next slide, please. This is a view from Commercial Avenue, where the building does transition to 5 floors versus 4 floors, and another entrance off of this drive going into a loading area. Next slide, please. These are our elevations. The next 2 slides show our southwest, east, and north elevations and the heights of our floors, our windows. Throughout, we are using a combination of materials to reflect a more modern commercial design. We really try to, even though it is a self-storage use, try to emulate an office building look with the project. We are using a mixture of split face and smooth face CMU block around the base of the project with a couple different patterns in multiple colors, as well as regular vision glass and spandrel glass throughout all 4 sides of the elevation. Some first floor awnings that our metal awnings brought down to the first floor to help with the pedestrian scale of the building as people are walking along the sidewalk that wraps around the entire property. And we have some architectural elements along the top that create another detail of an awning, as well as some metal fins that run vertically throughout the elevation. You go to the next slide, please. The east and north elevation, we wrap the same materials around. These are spandrel windows to the east, and the project does face residential past the creek area. And then the north elevation as well, we are abutted up against a 3-story building. So the first 3 floors have our same integrated materials, but we have placed our window treatments and our awnings on the 4th and partial 5th floor, as we are slightly higher in the elevation height from the adjacent building by that point. We also are using brick veneer banding material that I forgot to mention. Next slide, please. These are an example image of our materials with our brick, our CMU, our painted stucco, and our metal panel finishes for our awnings and our fins. And then next slide, please. This is example images of our proposed landscaping around the property. We do have street improvement trees along Gladys, Commercial, and San Gabriel Boulevard, with shrubs and flowering plants throughout the entire property, including the parking lot landscaping. Next slide, please. And again, this is just an image facing San Gabriel Boulevard. That's our presentation for tonight, and I'm happy to dive into any additional questions that you may have. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate that very much, Michelle. Maybe I'll open up for questions for the commissioners to ask you. Commissioner 2, do you have any questions for the applicant?
This is Commissioner Tu speaking. I was wondering in terms of the art studio, are those workspace? So it's not like a residential component, right? So it would be like an office type of space?
That is correct. No one will be permanently living on the site. It is like individual office type spaces that artists and local artists in the area can rent, and they can set up an area to paint or make jewelry or sculpture art, whatever their artist trade is.
Okay, thank you. I do appreciate the fact that it's the art studio component in the project that is also allocated along with the San Gabriel Boulevard. Since the self-storage, oftentimes it seems like a gigantic, it's really big, massive. And especially on the street side, as I think Commissioner Salo had mentioned that there's more residential and commercial misuse project in this area, so that the studio actually can contribute to creating a much more walkable street front for the project. So one of the recommendation I would have is actually like differentiate the facade a little bit off from the self-storage portion. Currently, as we can see, the studio portion has the same pattern with the large windows that it doesn't align with the smaller studio partition in the back. I thought breaking down the window pattern would help to humanize the scale along the street. That is one of the recommendation I would have. And I also have a second question about the windows. As you mentioned that you guys design it like more like an office. I do appreciate that you actually bring a lot of windows to a storage project. However, looking at the floor plan, a lot of those windows, it's just beyond the storage unit. It would look nice on the facade, but it doesn't really contribute to bringing light to the building, inside the building for the end users. I wonder if there's any possibility for arranging the layout that those windows can actually bring light into the building instead of just a facade treatment. A third point I would like to bring up is actually I noticed that on the building towards to the southeast corner, there is parking underneath the building, and then you have columns supporting the cantilever portion of the upper floors. Proportionally, it seems like I think it's because of the photo floor height. It does seem like the column a little bit slim compared to the massiveness of the massing above. I wonder is there anything that can be done to actually change that proportion a little more instead of like having a really skinny column supporting a huge mass above. That's my a few of my comments on the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Tu. I'd like to hear from Commissioner Salo, some of your comments.
Yeah, just one additional comment. First off, thank you to the applicant for introducing that art component and the landscaping along San Gabriel Boulevard. I think it's good. The only thing I would say is that the architecture now is for public storage, and I actually would not mind if the street component at the ground floor, if the architecture there looked different, and if it was a bit more human scale, just like Commissioner Tu had stated. So whatever treatment you decide to apply as you develop this further, the emphasis is going to be there at the ground level. And if that area looked different than the rest of the building, I would not mind that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Nadoni.
Yes, this is Commissioner Nadoni. I actually agree with the comments that both Commissioner Tu and Commissioner Salo have brought up. Especially, I guess I would like a little bit more explanation on what's happening with the windows. Are they all solid windows? Are they clear glazing? It was a little bit confusing. I'm not quite sure if they're all the same. It appears that on the storage floors, we're looking through and seeing painted, display doors. So I'd like a little bit better understanding about that. I also definitely agree. I realize this is probably schematics, maybe design development, but I totally agree on the columns that I don't think they're going to be supporting. They're not going to be that thin once you have structural engineers taking a look at this. And I think you're also missing them from one of the elevations. On the east elevations, you don't even show the columns. So that needs to have a little bit more study. I think the big point is the animation of the streetscape, and it's because you're not going to have any activity at this building, and it's not retail; it's all storage. I really appreciate the artists, and I hope that it's something that can, you can see there's a much visual connection with their studios, and that they don't block the windows. I think that's an important part, but there's not going to be a lot of activity, I don't think, at this building. It's just going to be one of those buildings. It's a storage building. So, but I do appreciate the materials and the architecture. But I do agree that I think on San Gabriel Boulevard, maybe to take a look at it to make it a little bit different. And then I don't know if there's any opportunities to have skylights. I realize it would be only on the upper floor, but the roof plan doesn't show anything. The other question I had, I guess, was on Gladys. It appears there looks like there's a lot of landscaping on Gladys, much more than there is on San Gabriel Boulevard, if that's what I'm looking at. There's different colored dots, which I'm assuming is different types of landscaping on. But overall, I think it can be improved, but it's not a bad looking building. I'd like to see the actual materials themselves. But yeah, so those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vice Chair Rama.
Yes, I agree with the other comments that have been made. I'd like to add a couple more. When we look about activating San Gabriel Boulevard, there are a couple of ways to accomplish that. First of all, I would recommend having the doors to the community room open onto San Gabriel Boulevard. It would only create a little more walking distance from where the parking is located to the entrance for the community room, but that will definitely help with the activation of San Gabriel Boulevard. And when you look at the studio areas in Pasadena, there are a lot of examples where the space is used. The window space is kind of a narrow, like a 2-foot area for displays, for revolving artist displays. I would look at possibly doing that with the artist studio. This way you can utilize the space on San Gabriel Boulevard, help promote that the building is for artists, and create some activity and interest there. The other thing I'd like to recommend is there is an existing sign for JD Plumbing. It was an old neon sign. Neon signs can be very artful, and if it can be either incorporated in the site as a way to look back at the past of the city and looking at the use of neon, that would be fun and interesting and artsy. If you cannot use it, instead of demolishing it and destroying it, I would recommend donating it to the Neon Art Museum. Here in San Gabriel, we do have great examples of neon signs. The entry signs to the city have neon. The neon sign for the San Gabriel Village is another iconic sign. And there's a little bar over here on Las Tunas, Al's Bar, that has a great neon sign. And I think those are a fun part of the community and looking back at our history. Those are my initial comments. I think the landscaping is very colorful and would be a great addition, especially on Gladys. Kind of going to Commissioner Salo's comment on the use, this land use in the area. This is a site where Commercial Street is very industrial, and it's a good way to bridge the new versus the old. It's a use that people definitely want, or else you wouldn't be proposing this project on site. And I think in Pasadena, we can see examples of storage sites within active areas, both on Raymond and on Arroyo Parkway. So there's different ways to try to build storage. They use existing buildings. You're looking at building a new building here. I was in North Carolina, and I did see the artist studios as you're proposing in buildings, and it really helped activate the artist community. And we got great tours of the artist studios, and it was a highlight of the conference that I went to. So I want to acknowledge your good work in what you're proposing right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Those are all good comments. I look at this project, it's a very interesting project, because what's going to sell this project to the city is your art component. It's art studios. Because with that many residential units around, what does this serve the city? Yes, everybody can use a little bit more storage, but it's humongous amount of storage space that we're trying to do. But you have something that is very enticing to the city, is that those community art center and studios. I don't know the detail, whether it's to be rented or by the day, by the hour, by monthly, whatever it may be, but it has a component. The challenging part is that print shop at the corner. That brick building is not going to go away anytime soon. That will be there for a long time. I wonder if you architecturally can borrow some of this material, meaning that have that brick, and you do using some kind of brickwork with masonry. I wonder if you can borrow part of that texture into your building, and especially in the studio part, and make that art studio very playful and make it very unique. People drive by that area will know that is a art center, over and above with all these storage. That would make the whole project alive rather than just have a big storage building and have a couple of studios downstairs. I think we will miss that opportunity. Architecturally, you got something that you can play with, and you can still achieve what you need, and make it a important addition to the city. That would be something that I would suggest the architect to look into and find some way to make it playful, and add some art element together with the public art will be required anyway, and make that part of the whole scene to make this a art center, like. So that would be nice. So this is what I have. Do we have any? There's no other comments from the public on this, I guess. So Michelle, did you have any feedback based on what you hear?
Yeah, thank you everyone for the comments. All very good comments, very helpful. I do just have a few notes on a couple of the items. We can definitely look at some of the window patterns along the first and second floor around the artist studios and see if there's some way that we can kind of break those up and work with the human scale. For that, they are, to clarify, real windows. So all of the windows that are currently shown facing San Gabriel Boulevard are real vision windows. So we could always create another exhibit that actually shows that there is activity behind those first and second floor windows, just like you can see the storage use on the third and fourth floor, just to clarify that. There was a comment about maybe switching the entrance to the art gallery from the south facing side of the elevation to the west facing San Gabriel Boulevard. That was our initial design. However, because our project does have quite a few plans already in place with civil work, and we have started to work through some of our construction plans for looking at structural for the building, and due to grades on the site and how we need to work with the grade for our new project, we can't put the doors on the east or on the west side. So it makes the elevation of our floor level too low from the sidewalk level. So they're on the south side of the building. And then just another item about the structural columns. So we will update our graphics as we come back to design review to make sure they're all shown properly. On the site plan, and I believe you were all given packets as well, the site plan is accurate, showing from our structural engineer the new locations for the columns. They are, it's a little bit deceiving, but they are 1 foot steel columns, and there's 10 of them underneath that overhang area. They fit on the parking stripes between each of the parking stalls. So we don't want to make them too bulky that they then impede the clear space for the parking stall. So there are 10 of them under there. And then again, with the window light that was suggested into some of the upper floors for the storage area, we can certainly take a look at that and see if we can work through that. And I think there was one other comment about potentially having skylights on the roof plan, if that was even an option. I know that the roof plan that was provided in the design review packets is just a simple roof plan. It's not showing any of our mechanical units. Well, our mechanical units on the ground, but it's not showing all of our rest of our equipment on the roof yet. We are planning solar panels across most of our roof, so that is a use that will be taking over that coverage. So yeah, thank you for the feedback, and look forward to coming back.
Okay, thank you. So help me understand, when you say climate control self-storage, what does that climate control really mean? Can you share that with us?
I'm sorry, could you repeat
Yeah,
that question?
The climate control self-storage, can you help me to understand what that really means?
Sure. So the project is temperature controlled and inside. So the project is heated or is maintained at a certain temperature in like the high 70s down each of the corridors. So not every single unit has its own temperature, but the building in general, the mechanical units they're mounted underneath the floor deck, and they run down the corridor systems of the interior layout so that the whole building stays at an ambient temperature. And then the lighting as well in there, the lighting is actually all LED lighting so that it, is not emitting extra heat and is motion censored, the lighting is.
And then in each cubicle, the storage area are vented somehow. It has a ventilation that the temperature can go into the unit, basically.
Yeah, that's correct. So the solid panels for the units only run to about an 8-foot height, but the interior that leaves about a foot, sometimes a foot and a half of clear space that is open to vertical panels, so it's still secure, so no one can enter into somebody else's unit, but they're not solid panels above that 8 to 9 foot mark, so that way the air can vent over the top of all of the units and enter.
I see. So the exterior window doesn't really open into the unit then, so to speak. All the exterior windows that we looked at, especially on the commercial avenue side, those are basically just decorative, right? And open to the hallway, right?
Correct. All the other windows are just spandrel windows. So in our floor plans, you can see where there's the window only penetrates the wall to a 4-inch depth, and then it's backed up with metal structural framing on the backside of that, and then a unit. So if we were to create windows that were full vision windows, we would have to reorganize a few of our units so that it created light wells into the corridors.
So yeah, I guess basically, if you really just intended to be strictly storage only, then I think the only design element would be your design studio or the community art room, which I mentioned a little earlier that you may want to look into that architecturally and try to make it a more attractive project, because all the other elements are pretty straightforward. It's just about what's all. So I guess that's you can take whatever comments made and take it back to the team and architecturally look at it and see if there is anything that can improve this somewhat, especially on the more for the citizen side of the benefit, and on the art portion of it. That would definitely help the project.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. All right, I think that pretty much finished our staff item number 4. Did the other applicant come back on number C on Ramona's?
Yes. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Please identify your name and address so we know who you are.
Yeah, my name is Nathan Gallardo. I'm the applicant and representative of the owner for 1211 South Ramona.
Okay. Thank you. You have anything more than what staff has presented to us?
No, I'm here to answer any questions. I was here, the only thing I will have a technical problems. I was hearing your voices and I hear the presentation. So I'm aware of what you're saying.
Okay, all right. So, and I guess you're ready for some questions from the commissioner. I'll start with you again, Commissioner Chu. Do you have any questions for the applicant on this project? 211 South Ramona Street.
This is Commissioner Tu speaking. I having a little hard time to understand the style of the project. First of all, it is a existing style we have to work with as an addition. I was wondering what is the inspiration for that addition on the second floor with 4 dormers on the roof, a really particular style.
Well, I think that's the problem that we have. As you can see in the picture, is no style at all. The addition that has been done previous, I think in 1990, is also been an obstacle to create something, you know, that would be, I would say, nice. But yeah, we've been working with a city architect hard enough trying to establish, you know, the best possible design. So the dormer windows are one of his recommendations. It's not windows; they're dormer vents. So it can have, you know, some kind of feature on the roof to make it more pleasant. Because otherwise it would be just like a big hip roof on the top of the one-story building. So it won't be any kind of design issues on the roof. So we're trying to break the massiveness of the roof and create something that is going to be comparable with some kind of design for the proposed addition.
Thank you. I do believe that on the north elevation and south elevation, it seems like the dormer are missing on the elevation drawing. Because it looks like it's supposed to have 4 dormers on all direction, but on that elevation it doesn't show. I wonder if that's a mistake or it was a design intent.
No, it's in the, you said the east and the north, it shows the dormer vent.
South. Yeah, the north and south.
The north and south. No, the south has the dormer ventilation in the top level.
House elevation.
Page A51.
Yeah, A51, yes. So the page A51 showing the south elevation different from the page A61. The page A61 also has a south elevation on the lower left. It doesn't show the other 2 dormers.
A61?
Yes.
And my drawings is just dormer elevation. One is the section on the top which says section A. That doesn't have it, doesn't show it because it's just a cut as a section.
Right.
But the south elevation, it shows the dormer ventilation on the top level.
Staff,
Right.
this is senior planner Matchen speaking. Staff can provide a little background regarding the sheet A61. The purpose of A6.1 was the north and south elevation is because the municipal code requirement required the applicant to provide like a 35-degree or also 45-degree from the property line to make sure the building itself doesn't exceed that 35-degree or 45-degree plane. So that's why the applicant provide the north and south elevation on this particular sheet to show the project itself doesn't go over that 35-degree or also 45-degree angle plane. So that's why the A6.1 doesn't have the east and west. The actual detail will be on the detail elevation will be on A4.1, also A5.1.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you're right.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Tu. Commissioner Salo, any comments from your side?
Yeah, I mean, I am sympathetic to the applicant here. This is definitely a design problem. I don't know if this is the solution though. However, it really sticks out like it doesn't belong there. It's just kind of landed on top of this building, and it really looks alien to the building that's there. I understand that the building that's there is not an architectural gem, and we don't need to emulate it, but it does look really peculiar. I wonder from the street elevation if a hip roof might not actually be more appropriate. Yeah, it's a challenging design problem. I'm not sure this is it. I think we need to see some more options.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Commissioner Nadone.
I had just a question on the roof tile, since you are using hip roof on the new addition, and most of what you're going to see is the roof. I think your materials board, it didn't look like it was the same color as the existing roof. Am I wrong on that?
Are you breaking? Are you talking about the roof color?
Yes, the new roof compared to the existing roof.
Well, maybe that was the printing color, but I would try to match existing. Yes.
How close are you trying to match it? Because it on your materials board, it doesn't appear that it's the same color.
Well, and on the material board, it calls for the timber line.
Yeah, what color really is that? Is it a brown? Is it a
Yeah, it's kind of brownish.
Is that the color of the existing roof, which I assume you're keeping on the first floor of the house? You're not re-roofing the existing roof, are you?
No, we're planning just to match the existing roof as much as possible.
And the color you've chosen, the darker, it says to match existing roof, but from what I can see is that more of a terracotta color. Is that correct?
Well, that may be, you're breaking, your voice is breaking, but I can hear something that just say it doesn't match. Maybe that's a printing issue, because, you know, sometimes while you choose the color and while you're printing it, maybe that's the issue. But if we need to choose another color that will match the existing in a better way, of course, we're willing to do so.
Well, as you know, it's very difficult. If this was 1990, that's, you know, that's a 30 years. That's a long time for a roof. No,
I think that they've been roofed. The roof is in good condition. But if they need to re-roof the entire house, obviously they are willing to do so.
Well, I guess my big concern is that the design you've chosen is a hip roof with dormers, where you're going to see a lot of the roof. And my concern is that, you know, so it doesn't look like it's out of place, that it should. You say it's going to match, but chances are it's never going to match, right?
Yeah, but yeah, we talked to the owner about it because, like I said, we work with the architect in a really good way, and they're willing to re-roof the entire house with the same color of the roofing. So it would be something that we have a consideration. But we tried to keep the same color, and it was kind of brown color.
Okay. So let me ask you about the front porch. You're modifying the front porch by removing some of the canopy or the roof part, the covered part of the front porch.
Yeah.
I guess it's going to be an interesting condition to try and patch. And are you planning on removing the brick pilasters along with it?
No. Oh, I mean the column on the right side of the facade. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, it's the front of the house. You're modifying the front of the house. I have a little bit of a concern as how that's going to get achieved to make it look good. It's easy to show in a rendering, I'm just going to remove it, but what is really going to happen to that, you know, after it gets removed? So that's one of my concerns. I guess the only advantage or positive thing I see about this second floor addition, it's 34 feet back from the front of the house. So hopefully you're not going to see it too much. Because
yeah,
I'm kind of in agreement with the other commissioners that it looks very awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I am. So those are my comments. I think you know, adding a second floor, it's always a difficult thing to do, but I think a little bit more attention needs to be given to the existing house and especially the front facade. So thank you. Those are my comments.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Romo.
Yes.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, this is Vice Chair Romo speaking. I have major concerns about the front facade. And just because it was permitted in the 1990s doesn't mean that it has to stay. The property owner is doing extensive work to the interior of the house and is going to be looking at adding an additional floor. This is a great opportunity to improve the front of the house and get everything so it has a good cohesive look. This will help with the resale of the house, which it will eventually be sold. So the better the house looks in front, that's what a potential buyer, that's what, you know, that's where the charm comes in. And I don't think by the alteration of the front porch, by not addressing the front windows, especially in that addition portion of the house from the 1990s, by not doing it, it makes it look a little like an eyesore, and there's not too much you can do to the top that's going to improve that front facade. I highly recommend that you work with the owners to get a cohesive design that addresses that front facade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I just also to respond on the issue with the roof. We changed it to the hip roof with the recommendation of the city architect, because at the beginning we were providing plans to show a gable, which is simpler, and you will see less roofing from the front, even if it's all the way in the back. And also we are trying to match the high pitch on the front of the house. That's what we're trying to do. But like I said, well, that's a recommendation from the city architect that we change it to a hip roof. So the owner is also open to go back and do a gable to match the existing house in the front.
Right. Okay, thank you, appreciate that. I'm looking at, I agree with most comments made. I'm looking at your, yes.
Chair Chen, Vice Chair Romo has additional comment.
Go ahead. Vice Chair.
Sorry, this came to me a little while ago. Was the original house a craftsman? Because if the original house was more of a craftsman, then you can look at that style and try to bring back some of that craftsman style. Because I can't see, I think the house lacks character, and that's my last comment. Sorry, Chairman.
No problem at all. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think that dormer windows is completely out of place for this one. I don't think it's gonna work. I was just gonna point out on attachment D on what we received, which shows the house at 1222 South Ramona Street has somewhat a similar roof line of that is, and see how the second floor works. I think a cable roof will work, not with a hip roof. I think the hip is just completely changing the roof framing system, second floor from the front, and try to make it work together. It's really forcing something that is not working. So I agree with what was commented, and I think we can maybe relook at it again. Are you all looking at 1222 South Ramona, which has kind of a similar roof line situation, but try to mix the 1153 Montecito Drive part of that into the downstairs of that one is what we got, which is kind of unfortunate. It's not going to work. It's going to be really awkward. Dale, you have any comment on that or any feedback?
It's an interesting design problem. We did recommend the hip. I think one comment on the, I think a significant difference between this and 122 South Ramona is the slope of the roof. So the photograph of the other home is a much shallower roof pitch. So when you see a gable on the second story, even though it's pushed back, it's a huge wall just sort of facing the street. So proportionally, it's not quite the same. So the feeling was that the hip roof just softens it, even though it doesn't match. There's some things on the current drawing that proportionally, like the roof vents that are shown, are too large, and some things like that. And there was a comment made about there needs to be work to the existing building, to the existing home, to just leave all those up, the front windows and some other things. But so that was the reason we recommended the design direction that they went in. But I think there could be further studies as well. So
I was really hoping that they'll take that first floor elevation in totality with the second floor addition and try to develop a workable front elevation. Unfortunately, we'll try to fix something on the second floor without touching the first floor, or saying that we're just going to remove the canopy and the it's just it's so many unresolved design problem, and then when they go start construction, I think we're going to be creating something probably worse than what we see now. And I think that's the part that kind of really concerned the commission. If we let this thing go the way it is, we're going to end up with something that we don't even know what we're going to end up with. Because I couldn't figure it out myself for a while on those 4 dormers. But those dormers are just there for an element. It's not for, there's no light. It's just kind of little vent on the side. Is that the whole idea?
It's simply to add a little detail to the roof and provide the ventilation that would be required anyway. So.
And can I add another comment on this one?
Yeah, please, bro.
Yeah, and I can see on my drawings the back in March 2020, I can compare the hip roof that we proposed at the beginning, really simple, and compare it with the hip roof that the city architect was proposing. And I agree with him. It looks more pleasant to have a hip roof instead of a gable on the back. And also, if you compare the hip roof without any of those big vents, it's also too simple. So I think it was a really good idea from him to provide the typical vents, because this can be used in many styles like this one, and it gives you a better design, because it's a challenge. The house not only has this slope differently, but also on the back has a different slope on the gable, existing gable. But thanks God at this moment we had to take it out, and because we're not building the top, because the house it has 3 different slopes on the roof.
So you're saying that you like what you see now? You like the design?
It's better than the gable. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The hip is better than the gable. I can see it. Even it's in the back, which is good to have the addition all the way in the back, because you don't see it the way that we show it on the elevation. The front elevation is not going to be the perspective from the street, which is in the benefit of of the neighborhood. But I think that the gable, it looks better than the I'm sorry, the hip roof, it looks better than the gable.
All right.
Yeah, it's
my opinion.
Yeah, and that secondary slope that's on the main roof of the existing house just creates another awkward, sort of condition. If it were just a single gable and it went all the way to the end wall, that would be very different as well.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the questions I was going to ask is, this is Commissioner Nadolny. Did you look at, because it looks like you have 2 different slopes, right? Did you look at maybe using that lower slope? Would that make any sense at all, or?
I think there needs, the question is how much work the owner wants to do to that existing house. I mean, I think there's 2 things potentially you could do. Commissioner Nadolny, your suggestion, would you'd reframe the roof, you'd remove the roof and reframe it. If you use that lower slope, the other option is to try to California frame over it as well and set a new ridge height, and then just California frame over that that secondary slope and just come up and just simplify that whole front facade.
Yeah, we can probably do like a 2 gables, California, and that sense, with separation between each other.
Yeah, if the applicant's willing to look at spending some effort on the existing roof, whether that may make the rear portion gable more aesthetically pleasing and the right way to go. That would help solve a lot if we just can, if you will, dig into that existing roof.
Okay. Commissioner Ramos.
In addition to the roof, I think you have to look at those windows on the first floor, especially the window in the living room, where you have more wall than window leading into a large, a main portion of the front of the house. So if you're going to be looking at the roof, to the non-architect on the commission, I mean, it's that window that's yelling at me, like saying, there's something wrong here with that window, how it is and the proportion with the front of the house. Usually when the non-architect, me, looks at a house, that front is kind of that showcase. I don't see that showcase here.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. We have that opportunity to do so much work by removing the porch, rework the downstairs, create a new stair to the upstairs. I think it probably is the right time for them to relook at the front elevation as a whole. Once that worked out, then I think the side elevation at the back can follow. But I think there just needs some work on the front elevation. Is the designer, are you willing to look at it seriously with the city architect and try to come up with something, try to resolve some of these unresolved problems in the next round? Hello?
Well, can I probably work with the city architect to propose a different front elevation without have to be removed existing porch? Because I know also the client, they don't want to do a lot of changes on that side because it's going to increase the budget, kind of limited. They're actually trying to have the grandma come in to live with them, I think from overseas, and they really need to have the 2 bedrooms or 1 bedroom additional, like a little space. But they're not planning, they don't plan to spend money to reframe the entire house or trying to make major changes that will create more costs in construction.
All right, so they are not planning on redoing the front elevation, but pretty much they just want to add the second floor. That's what you're saying, if I hear you correctly, right?
Yes, but they understand that they may have to make some improvements, colors and maybe replace windows and that kind of stuff. We explained that to them, and they, of course, they're willing to do so. But we can work with a different option to make the front elevation more appeal. Because we understand it's a challenge to everybody to have this house make it a little prettier.
So, Dale, do you feel comfortable understanding that maybe with doing the quote unquote the limited amount of revision in the front elevation to work with the second floor addition to come up with something that a little bit more acceptable to what we got now? Can you work with? Because I understand. Yeah, because I don't think we can accept it the way it is now, based on what I hear from the commissioners. And for them to completely reframe the whole front with the roof line and the different slope, that's going to be a real challenge plus one. I understand that. So why don't we leave it to the applicant to work with city staff and city architect to, based on their limitation, and try to come up with something a little bit better. Is that acceptable? If that's acceptable, I think this is ready for a continuance, and we would, I'd like to entertain a motion to continue this application to allow them the opportunity to work with city staff and city architect. I have a motion, please.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Salo. I motion to continue.
Okay, that would be January 25. Is that it, staff?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So continue January 25, 2021. Do I hear a second?
This is Commissioner Tu. I second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Roll call vote, Commissioner Tu,
Yes.
Commissioner Salem,
Yes.
Commissioner Madonna,
Yes.
Vice Chair Romo,
Yes.
Chair Chang.
Yes,
Motion passed, vote is 5-0.
thank you. So I suggest the applicant to work with city staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So move on to comments from staff. Almost getting to the end now. So any comments from staff for the commission?
Yes, Chairman and members of the commission. I'll try to make this really quick. No updates, but just a quick reminder and then also a quick statement. So if planning staff can remind the commission, if you can please assist with maybe completing the comment sheet that has been put together for the historic context statement that is available on the city's website. Again, this comment sheet can be accessed at sangabrielcity.com/1499/historic context statement. Also, if you need Matt or myself to send you a PDF file, we can do that as well. But if the Design Commission can assist staff with that, it will help to provide more, as the title indicates, more context to the city's context statement project. So if you have not done so, if you can assist staff with that, as well as also to maybe pass the comment sheet on to anybody else in the community that may not have the information, and then also to email that over to staff or to drop it off at the front entrance. So that is staff's reminder. And then as for the statement, as we enter into the holiday season, staff just wanted to say on behalf of Matt, Anthony, and myself, we want to thank the Design Review Commission for taking the time to attend these late evening meetings sometimes for reviewing the projects and providing guidance to the project applicants as well as the staff. And the past 9 months has been uncertain times for everyone. However, since the announcement of the executive order in March, only 3 Design Review Commission meetings have been canceled. And one of those cancellations was due to the Memorial holiday in May. So in 2020, the Design Review Commission has reviewed and approved approximately 18 projects in total. And staff looks forward to presenting more projects to the commission in the upcoming year. And as it's been briefly discussed, but for item number 7, the adjournment on the agenda, it does show that the adjournment is to the next regularly scheduled meeting of Monday, December 28th. And at this time, there are no items scheduled for that meeting. So staff is recommending that the adjournment be to the first regularly scheduled meeting in 2021, which is Monday, January 25th. However, that is up to the commission to decide. And this concludes the staff's update.
Thank you very much, Samantha. It was wonderful. Do you mind to send that statement to us to make it a little easier? Because right now, working at home, we just inundated with emails, and I usually get about 200-300 emails a day, and try to find it is really a challenge. So if you don't mind to just send it to us, that will be appreciated. That
Absolutely, not at all.
Thank you. And again, I appreciate all your kind words and everything else. Let's see, we thank you, and then we'll move on to number 6, and then we will adjourn the meeting based on other commissioners' comment. Number 6 will be any comments from the commissioners to staff regarding any conferences or meetings or reports. Okay, hearing none, I guess it's been a lot of there was a lot of virtual seminars. We just do it virtually. I think the AIA, the planning professions are doing a lot of those. It just there is a lot of those. We spend hour after hours, one after the other, catching up those information, because now instead of just doing locally, now you can attend national and international seminars, and so we are very busy, so to speak, and so but it is challenging time, and I just want to thank staff for doing a great job and keeping all the business going in this really unprecedented time from March to now. It was really challenging. And I want to thank the commissioners for all your hard work. So before I go into the last one, I just want to wish you all a very nice holiday season. If we are not meeting on December, then that will be the Thanksgiving and Christmas together. So just stay safe. I think we all, so far we know that everybody is well and safe, which is already a blessing. They said 2020 is a survival year. If you don't get sick and survive, you're doing well. So that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so we'll move on to the adjourned meeting. The December 28th meeting, it's I just, unless anybody has any opposition, I think we should adjourn it to January 25th. It's going to be like 2 days after Christmas, and there's no items, so we should not do this continue items on that time. Is not good. So they're going to need the time to do it right until January anyway. So with that said, would that be okay to adjourn it to the January meeting? Any opposition? Seeing none, we will go ahead and adjourn the regular meeting to January 25th, 2021. And I wish you all well. And we got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming, and have a great time and stay safe to you all. Thank you very much for your support.